Boom. Mr. Dave Molyneux.
Erekoptasha.
It's time. Your favorite time of the month.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking about it on the Twitch live just before the show officially began. It's incoming, everybody, for the month of August 2023. Man, I can't believe it's August.
I know.
Coming up.
I know.
Crazy. Before we get into our list for stuff to look forward to this next month, don't forget, if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, rate and subscribe, comment. We appreciate all of your interaction with us. And of course, if you're listening on podcasts on your way to work, at home, while you're cleaning the house, however you listen to podcasts, hit the subscribe button as well and give us a review there. It helps make us make better stuff. And for better stuff, omniversecomics.guide, where you got the podcasts, the videos, the reading reviews, the reading lists, everything that the reading orders, that's what it's called, the reading orders, because they're second to none. I will say that. I use them for my own episodes. So check it out, omniversecomics.guide, where all your fun comic book hobbying needs are met.
Also, if you head into our link tree on various social media platforms, predominantly, what's it called? Instagram, but also on most of our posts for the podcast. I'll get through my words eventually. You're so much better at that bit than me. You can see which social media platforms we're on. We're on quite a few, but you can also jump on our Discord. There is a link in there that is up to date. We normally have to update every couple of weeks. So get on it now while it's functioning. And if it's not ever, just let us know and we'll sort it out. Yeah,
and thank you to everybody who interacts on Discord, over the Twitch live. All the folks that comment while we're chatting away, we appreciate the interaction. It adds a little bit of spice and color to the show, so it's always good. That's why we do this, for the community, for the fun. Yeah. Let us know what you're thinking, and let us know in this episode what you're excited for.
Oh, and we do it to ruin people financially.
Absolutely, especially at these tough times where bread and cheese cost you a good $15 for a toast. It's ridiculous.
Really?
I'm not even going to get into it. Oh, man, it's... Yeah, you sometimes see people post stuff on Instagram like, this is what $40 gets you now, and like they haven't eaten yet.
Eesh.
It's getting so. In the meanwhile, spend your money on comics, right? And if you have to, you can. No, you don't want to eat it. Just read it. Go hungry and read.
Yeah,
that should be on one of our
t-shirts. Go
hungry and read.
Done. Make a note.
All right, dude. I think you let me go first last time. So it's your turn.
Oh God! I'm going to do the mean thing then, and take the one I know that we're both after. Or do I? Oh, mean.
Do it.
It's last month we did this, and we both blatantly wanted Superior Spider-Man because it was the one we were both most looking forward to.
Yeah.
I would say,
and it has arrived.
Mistaken. It has arrived. Oh, I put it away. No, I didn't. Yeah, here it is.
Get it.
Freaking da. Yes, I would say August, the big one, will be the Green Lantern Corps Omnibus Volume 1.
Oh, yeah. 100%. We've talked about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Even before it was ever announced. Yeah, very beginning. And shout out to my pal Adam Chapman. He used to bring that up as well, saying, Peter Tomasi's run on Green Lantern Corps doesn't get enough credit. And then when me and you spoke,
He's right.
You said had the exact same sentiments, and I haven't read very much of it.
Oh, it's so
only
good.
the things that tie into the main
of
story.
Course, yeah, the tie-ins are in the Green Lantern.
There's quite a bit.
Omnis.
Like it's not it. Yeah, the Omnis have quite a bit of stuff from that run. You're getting a chunk of it, but not everything.
No.
And I find Tomasi, I don't know if he's considered underrated or not, but he is kind of, in my opinion, one of those hidden gems of writers whose work...
Yeah.
It's almost like a Mark Waid in a way, where it's going to be good to great almost all the time, even if he's kind of in a corner.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. He's one of those people that doesn't always get the mention, It's like when people talk about the Batman New 52, they go Snyder. They talk about... I can't remember.
Rebirth.
They talk about
Rebirth,
Green Lantern.
Tom King.
It's it's all those occasions. It's the
Always.
other guy, but I think his stuff is normally the better stuff. So on this occasion, we are now being rewarded with this omnibus, and like I couldn't be more excited. I've actually got the trades, but I don't care. I'm replacing them because this is gonna be a beauty. So it basically, excuse my little mouse over you. You probably wouldn't even notice.
I don't notice. My glasses are off. I can barely see myself.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Magoo. So, it's 1,616 pages, so it's a beast, and it collects Green Lantern Call 1 to 38, Blackest Night, Tales of the Call 1 to 3, Green Lantern 21 to 25, Green Lantern Call Recharge 1 to 5, Green Lantern Sinestro Call Special Number 1, Showcase 95, 7 to 8, Untold Tales of Blackest Night Number 1. That is a lot. I didn't realize it was actually going to be that big.
Yeah.
It's
it's
big. No wonder there's only 2, because isn't that right? There's going to be just 2 of these.
2. Yeah. I got the scoop from him myself.
Nah, nice.
That's the one of the few times where I can put my reporter cap on. He,
what a scoop!
He was at our, what was the last show that we had? I think it was last summer. I don't remember now. I don't remember when no, you know what? It was in March.
Well, it was March. Yeah, it was March.
Yeah, it was March. That's right. Thank you. It was March where I got to meet him and chat with him a little bit and talk about the omnibuy that I've read that I really enjoy, like the Superman and Son and the Batman and Son, and then also realizing that he has a little bit of pull at DC because he's also been in the editorial department.
That's right. Well, he was named, the character Isomot is named after him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Green Lantern Corps member, Isomot, is Tomasi backwards.
Oh, right.
And it was because of his editorial role and everything, because they had a history with him as their editor. I think it was Jeff Johns.
Yes, of course. I think with the Tomasi Omnis, he was very specific that unless the story is tied in with my story, there's no need to put other people just to keep a complete run. Like there'll be issues missing because like I had nothing to do with it, so it's not there.
Well, I think on this occasion, because it's a Green Lantern Corps thing, and it's about preempting the release of, what's it called? Lanterns, the TV series, the James Gunn series that he's making. I think it'll probably be more about Green Lantern as a whole, Green Lantern Corps as a whole, rather than Tomasi. Right. Even though it's blatantly, they can use his name at this point. And Gleason's name is also on the cover. So, yeah, hopefully, because I think towards the end of the run, Tony Bedard takes over as writer for at least some of the stories. And then there's like a spin-off series called Green Lantern Corps. Is it Warriors? I'd have to double. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read it. Yeah, and then it kind of veers into the New 52 period for the first 20
I'm really excited for this. It's like, what's taking you so long?
I know.
Right? I'll definitely find a way to make more space for this one. Yeah, this is one of those few that's deserving of, well, somebody might have to move out for you to move in, my friend.
You break it to
her. Nice pick. Very good pick. Yeah, I had it there. I figured you would bring it up or I'd bring it up. Had to be brought up.
Yeah.
Good pick. And to anybody who hasn't read it, it's a safe bet.
It's a safe bet. Hopefully,
Green Lantern from Jeff Johns is a safe bet, and this is definitely a great companion piece.
Hopefully they'll re-release those Jeff Johns ones as well. I don't know if they're still floating around, but they're so
good. They will. Yeah, they will. I think that'll become like their
kind of staple.
One of their staple. Yeah. One of their evergreen. Evergreen. We intend that pun.
Intend that pun.
All right. Shall I proceed?
Proceed, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna go with one that I ordered quite a long time ago when it was announced. I was hoping that the delay of like, wow, that's coming out in August of 2023. This is 2021 or it was 2020. I don't remember when I ordered this.
Right.
I'm gonna bury the lead. Forget it. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Ah, ha, ha,
Omnibus.
ha.
I ordered it quite a while ago, and I think it was
Yeah,
pretty dirt cheap at the time.
yeah, it
And
was.
it's just been delayed, delayed,
Yeah,
delayed.
delayed,
And this
outright cancelled, delayed, blah blah blah.
exactly. And this one, the date stuck. So it's coming soon.
In
I
theory,
was hoping, yeah, I was hoping that they would add the third part of the TMNT. They think they did a part three,
did
so I
they?
was hoping it would collect all three.
Is it not in
'Cause
there?
it's not a very big omnibus, but it is a little bit overpriced. But
576 pages. Yeah, that's quite small, isn't it?
it's quite small. They could have put the next
Oh
series
no,
in there.
3 is in.
Is it?
Apparently so. They've listed.
Perfect.
Apparently it's series 1, 1 to 6, and then Turtles 2. It says Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Deluxe Edition. So maybe there's some bonus features from that, and then Ninja Turtles 3.
Yeah, there's something weird about how it's always been listed. If they put the third one in, it would be definitely worth price of admission. From what I've read so far, it was a lot of fun. It was something that I expected to be plainly nostalgic
Yeah.
and just fun for someone who grew up loving both of those things. So it was for me, like I was the target audience for something like that. And if it was stupid, I would, whatever, who cares? Haha. But it was actually really good. And they found ways to the villains have you seen the animated movie that they did for this?
No.
Yeah, they adapted it into an animated one. It was really fun.
Did they?
Yeah, it was excellent actually. I sometimes get the craving just to watch it again for how fun it was.
How long
But
is it? Is it proper film length?
Yeah, proper film length.
But-
It's a lot of fun. So I'm excited if it does include all the series. That'd be really great. So yeah, there's three deluxe edition. Yeah, you're right. So it's all there. That's great.
Yeah, do you know, I did pre-order it the first time around, and I didn't this time around in a tiny tantrum.
I see.
But sometimes this stuff is good. It's funny. Ralph Reeds, who is basically the ringleader of the Discord chat.
What's up, Raph?
He's he's a massive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, and I think he's really torn. Because I know he's not a Tiny fan. It's like that's gonna just tear you in half. But
Yeah,
I might give it a go.
I've only read the first part, the first 6 issues. And I said, when this is collected, if they're going to do a part 2, and then they're going to probably do a third, because why not? It'll get collected in a nice, like they did the Earth 1, Wonder Woman Earth 1 in a nice bound volume,
They
right?
did,
So
yeah.
yeah. So it's like they're going to do that. I'll just wait for that. That's fine. And lo and behold, here it is. So yeah, I've been waiting years to read the next chapters of it. Hopefully it's as fun at the very least. Because it's like a guilty pleasure for sure.
Yeah, probably. That's the thing. It's continuity free essentially as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah. So I hope the rest of it is good, and I hope it does come out.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I think seeing as it's this close, I can't imagine they change their minds at this point. Oh, Freddie E. Williams is doing the art, and I'm a bit of a fan of his too.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Nice.
Fun stuff.
Oh, now you've got me hyped for that, and I wasn't going to get it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, should we number 2 it?
Yes.
Okay. So my number 2, it's Oblivion Song Compendium from Image. Oblivion Songbook 3 made it to our top 20 of 2022. It's Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici, that's the creative team on Void Rivals, which is the Transformers tie-in series that they're both working on. Lorenzo De Felici has also recently done a series called Chroma, which is essentially a standalone book that's released, which is really nice. We did recommend it on an incoming. I picked it up and it's good.
You read it?
Yes, it's lovely. It's really nice. So yeah, I'm really into his stuff. His art is so spot on. I don't know who did the colors, but like they tend to have a really good colorist on his stuff, and it's just it brings it out so nicely. So Oblivion Song is a bit of a weird concept. It's basically I'm trying to remember how it starts. It's a bit of a mystery, so I don't want to spoil too much. Maybe I can use that as an excuse for not being able to remember it all. But basically, there's a lot of dimension jumping going on, but some dimension jumping went horrendously wrong at one point, and then there was a ban on it, except some people were trapped in this other dimension, and a big chunk of the other dimension was trapped on Earth. So this one guy is basically trying to get a little team together illegally to jump across and find his brother, on the proviso that he's trying to actually help people on this side and rescue small numbers of people, but he's just trying to find that one guy. And it doesn't, again, with Kirkman, it's like he's good at the twists, man. He's good. He knows how to get you in. And just when you think like, oh, I know what's going on here, I know what's happening with this, he pulls the rug. And then you go like, oh, I'm on another trip, I know where we're going with this now. Boom, rug's gone again. Like, you're just on your face for the whole thing. And it's brilliant. And it builds up to this, just what an ending. It's such a fantastic ending. It was really genuinely exciting. I was sat in my chair in here just on my own, just going, what? Just couldn't stop, couldn't put it down. And then they're going to do this as one whole compendium. That's just lovely. That's brilliant. It's 36 issues, 824 pages. That's a nice chunker. So, yeah, great art, great storytelling, great dimension hopping, great colours. Just what's not to love? It's not an immediate hit, but the slow build is really nice. And the characters don't look like your chiseled heroes that you used to seeing in other things as well. It just looks like normal people. You know, that could be like William H. Macy from the 1990s as the main character. Which gives it a bit more of a kind of an indie feel to it.
Yeah, it makes it down to earth, relatable as well. Like you can, this is for anybody. This isn't for a particular kind of fan, or, you know, anyone can relate to this story. If this was a novel, I would tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
And there's always the stigma of it's a comic book. Yeah.
Or it's a TV show, they're going to watch it. Like, I'll watch that. Really?
Yeah.
You got to sit through the first series, which isn't very good. That's 10 hours worth, though. But by series 2, you'll start to maybe like it. No, you can read this comic. It won't take you 10 hours. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. I brought my my apprentice from work with me to the comic shop that I like going to. And just walking through, he's seeing, oh, they made a comic about The Walking Dead. I'm like, no, The Walking Dead is a comic. They made a show about the comic.
Did he not know? People don't know.
I was just walking him through the store, and it's like lock and key. You know, this show. And without even, sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a show.
Yeah. It's not always that obvious. We watched Nimona the other day on Netflix, which is a kids animated film. And I was going like, Nimona, I know that. And it's a comic.
Yeah.
It's like it's
done
in one trade. And it was really good as well. I haven't read the comic, but it was a really good film. So like, it's a great place. The reason why people dip into comics to make stuff now is because comics are great.
Exactly.
I'm going to kick something over. Sorry, you can speak.
Nice. Oblivion Song was also on my list just because of the, like you brought up at the tail end of your synopsis, was that it's the entire series.
Yeah.
Cover to cover. You're not going to have to be committed to 4 volumes, which there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes when you're getting into something new, you're like, okay, like how committed do I have to be in order to enjoy this thing?
Yeah.
And with this one, it's read it. Take a chance. It's all there.
So many times with buying a series and gone like, I bought book 1, I finished it, I loved it, I'll get around to getting book 2. Or I've even done that as far as like book 3, and there's 3 more to go. I'll get around to
Yeah. You put it off.
Done in one.
But when I love those. I'm a sucker for that.
Compendiums are awesome.
Yeah. Okay. My number 2. I'm going to talk about this one because I've read it numerous times, and I think it's worthy. If you want to read this character in a very original way that if you like it, you could read more. If this was enough for you, that's all you'll need. And that's Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello.
Lovely.
And Cliff Chiang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I'm hit or miss with Brian Azzarello. I know some people swear by him. They really, like, he's written some of their favorite things. I know Fred Kennedy always talks about 100 Bullets being his favorite series, and I'm sure it's very good. this is one time where out of all of the Trinity that Brian Azzarello has written, his Batman, his Superman, Wonder Woman, he did the best for me.
Yeah.
It just works. It's different that it could be an indie series with the Cliff Chiang artwork, but then at the same time, it's one of the best Wonder Woman stories I've ever read. They really lean into the... She's almost like female Thor in a way, but with a little bit more character. They really lean into the mythology.
They do, but with a really modern spin, isn't it? It's not like the Perez years.
No, not so literal. They do a very modernized version of it, almost like a punk rock version in some capacities, which makes it work. And and what's really interesting about it, Dave, that I always, whenever I read it, I'm like, this was such an important time in DC for the differences in relationships that from what you're used to. And this was the era where Superman and Wonder Woman were a couple. Like there is a time in DC continuity where they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and everyone would always kind of wonder, what would that be like? You know, would they go bad like that? And it was interesting, but it's never referred to here. Like Superman doesn't show up throughout this story to like team up with her.
They do it the other way around. Wonder Woman and Orion appear in Superman.
Yeah.
Which is like, why was it there? But it's kind of nice though, because again, it feels self-contained, doesn't it?
It totally does. And that's why I feel like it's a safe bet, because you're not going to be hampered down by what's happening in Justice League, which are big storylines. You're not going to be hampered down to the relationship that she's tied into. In Superman, it's much more of a thing that's, you know, he's not with Lois.
No.
And it's somewhat of a main storyline in the Justice League. And they even get their own book. But this one, it's just her. It's the gods. It's Orion from the New Gods.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, he's too high.
Yeah, and it's got a through line, like a main storyline from beginning to end. There he is. Yeah, I got the same figure.
That's the actual version, isn't it?
It's the actual version from the Cliff Chiang. Yeah.
So that's the thing, that Cliff Chiang art as well. It's perfect. But someone else essentially splits the art with him, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and they don't get cover credit, but they should.
Yeah, they really should, because it was good.
This is the book that will be coming re-released in August. You guys can see it.
That's nice. Half of me regrets.
You have it, right?
I've got the absolutes, but there are times when I think, I wish I'd got the omnibus.
Yeah, I had the trades. People want to see the inside cover if they don't own it already. I have the trades, and then I gave them up because they did Rebirth, and it's like, well, none of the New 52 counts anymore. And then I regretted it because I'm like, you know what? That was a really fun storyline, and I could read that again, and I don't have it because I'm an idiot.
It's what counts for you that matters.
There are definitely gaps where he isn't the artist.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take it down.
No, not at all. Sometimes you don't notice and you go, oh, wait a minute. Because the flow is great. The flow is fantastic. Yeah. And it's such a thrill ride series for a lot of it. And it's not what you're expecting of... Well, it's not what I was expecting of Wonder Woman.
Neither for me.
Because of the modernization of those godlike characters. It's funny because I never really understand why gods in comics, especially when you look at the George Perez stuff, not knocking the George Perez stuff, but why are the gods kind of stuck in time? Why are they wearing togas and all that kind of stuff? Like, does time not moved on for them? Are they not going, do you know what? I fancy some new gear. Why do they always look the exact same way? Whereas with this, they've gone, they've lived through into this era, so they should look that way.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a real original take on it that I think will always stand the test of time without ever being... You'll never have to worry about the continuity of it. It's a good Wonder Woman run. And there's a plot from the beginning that you are invested in right to the end. Relationships, jealousy, the action, all of it.
Politics of Olympia and all that kind of stuff. It's just, there's so much to it.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And the art is simple enough where you would think with Wonder Woman and the gods, it's got to be overly, like George Perez was the perfect artist for characters like that. Yeah. So you always kind of think like Phil Jimenez. Like it's always got to be somebody who draws a certain way Whereas this one, it's even stylistically, but it captures it. Nice. All right. Your number 3.
Number 30. So this one I've never read, and it's been around a long time, but I've never read it. It's from Faber and Faber as a publisher, which is not one I'm really familiar with. It's Blankets by Craig Thompson. I'm going to take a leaf out of your book, and instead of kind of blathering through and explaining that I don't guess, I'm going to read from the back. Wrapped in the snowfall of a blustering Midwestern winter, Blankets is the tale of two brothers growing up in rural isolation and of the budding romance between two young lovers. A tale of security and discovery, of playfulness and tragedy, and a fall from grace and the origins of faith. Blankets is a profound and utterly beautiful work. If you jump online and just look at the pages, it's a black and white book. It's 592 pages, though I think this is the 20th anniversary edition, which I think is actually bumped up to 640-ish pages. So there are versions out there already, and you can get it in hardcover and all sorts. But the 20th anniversary edition is due out in August, and it's got a nice chunk of extra pages, almost about 50 extra pages. I don't know what's in them. I don't know much about the story, but it's one of those books that you feel like you should have read by now as a comics fan.
Yeah, I have a couple of those on my list.
Yeah. What have you got?
This is one of them.
Maybe we'll do that one.
Books we should read?
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed sometimes, but yeah, this is one of them for sure.
Yeah, this has kind of been floating on my list for a while. And funnily enough, I nearly got it about 2 years ago and accidentally bought Sheets, which was a completely different comic. Like, no, Sheets, you idiot. It's Blankets. Ugh. So yeah, I got the wrong book.
Bell End.
So yes, I don't know a huge amount about it. As I say, it is an indie book, but it's highly critically acclaimed with a number of... Joss Whedon's got a quote on it. They might take that off on the new version. Neil Gaiman's got a line on it, if you like that sort of thing. So yeah, it's due out very soon, I think. Oh no, well, have they moved it out? It seems to be quite hard to find on some sites. So, but if you just put in Blankets Thompson and try and look for the edition that comes out 2023, obviously, you'll get a nice chunk of extra pages thrown in there. Or just get the old version, that's fine. Do what you want. I'm not your dad.
Okay, so I've never heard of this. It's got a 10 to 17 years reading age, which is very weird.
Does that mean I can't read it?
Right? So I'm thinking there's something to it that could be like just right for a young adult reader, as well as older guys like us. It's Lost Boy from
nice.
Dark Horse. Jay Martin is the writer. So I'll read the description because that's what got me into it. It's the comics debut of accomplished music video director Jay Martin. So I probably know things he's worked on, and I just never paid attention to those credits.
I'm gonna have a look.
So pardon me, Jay Martin, if you happen to be listening. Keep going with the music videos. We love them.
Whatever they might be.
So this is a heartwarming tale of adversity and survival. In the aftermath of a deadly car accident in the remote Wyoming wilderness, a young boy escapes as the sole survivor. Stranded, freezing, and without anyone around to help him, he struggles to stay alive as he attempts to find his way back to civilization. Along the way, through extreme tests of will, courage, and endurance, he discovers what it truly means to be tested and learns that the secret to survival isn't always what you think it is. I'm intrigued by just the idea of somebody being lost in the woods and having to figure out how to do it, because I'm terrified of that myself. But then there's also you can go from being lost in a city with a lot of noise to now being lost in the forest where the noise, the quiet is deafening, because everything now becomes really loud to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really interesting to see, like, where did he actually have to traverse through to make it out, and what does he learn along the way. So I wanted to get off the beaten path of DC for a second, because I realized this month they got a pretty decent month of re-releases and new stuff coming. But I wanted to give a shout out to Dark Horse and Jay Martin. This book looks interesting. It's 128 pages. It seems like it's a one and done story. Hey, here's hoping that it does well and that it's a really good book.
Yeah, it was on my pre-orders, but not my list, because I didn't know anything about it, so I wasn't going to shout about it. But I'm glad you did.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take a chance on the cover and the back cover.
It's a
Like,
really nice cover as well, isn't it?
it is. It's got that feel of you just don't know. Because
No.
is it a story about a boy becoming friends with a deer? Is that a dog? Like, what's happening here?
Is it a dog dressed as a deer? What could it
Right?
be?
And the simplicity of the density that it shows of the forest, it just works.
Yeah.
Right? It's really well designed. So I think it's something I'd give a chance to when I get my hands on it. I'll read it, and hopefully other people do the same. Dark Horse makes good stuff, man.
They do. They really do. And I'm glad you've... I'll talk about some of their other choices myself later as well, because I didn't manage to make it onto my list this week. But, yeah.
Dark Horse?
Yeah, this time. No Dark Horse.
Yeah, sometimes, some months are sparse for some publishers, and then, hey, this is the month where everything was Marvel. This is everything's DC. So,
God, September is just Batman. Batman. We'll do a top 10 best Batman books coming out in September next month.
Yeah, we'll just do incoming Batman.
Yeah,
and the whole month will be just Batman month. People will probably listen like crazy, actually. Right?
Which of the 20 books am I supposed to buy? Sorry.
Your turn?
Oh, yeah, okay then. Yeah, well, here's my left field-ish choice of
the
week. So, my choice for numero 40 is Plush from Image Comics, which is 160 pages. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It appears to be about serial killers who are furries. So, this guy goes to a party, it's a furry-themed thing, and then he accidentally stumbles across a really screwed-up scene and is drawn into this dark world of furries. But, like, the art is so kind of funny. We're talking black comedy.
That's your specialty.
Here, that is my specialty. So, like, I've read the first issue. I got a digi first issue just to test it. And, yep, I want to keep reading it. So, the cover alone is like, you're looking at it going, what the hell is that? I want that. That looks messed up. So,
yeah,
sold.
Nice. Good pick.
Oh,
I saw that.
By Doug Wagner is the author.
Heard of him.
David Hilliard and Rico Renzi are the artists. I mean, just the weirdness of that cover has just gone, okay, I'm here.
You want to know what's funny? Is that I saw that. I was going to look into it.
Yeah.
Because when it's being released, I'm like, well, it's an option to talk about. And then I said, Dave will probably pick this one if either of us do. I'll leave it to him to pick something like this. And you did. And I'm like, that's
disappoint.
That's amazing.
When we were where were we? Was it Bristol Comic Con? There was this one guy who had a furry head. I don't remember if it was like a badger or something. It was a black and white one. But I'm quite deaf. So I lip read, especially when it's like a really noisy area. I lip read. Okay. There's this guy talking to me, and all I can kind of hear is. So, and I just thought, like, I'm gonna just recommend something and just talk because I can't understand what they're saying. So I just recommended Plush, knowing nothing about it. Went, oh, do you know what's coming up soon from Image? It's this series about furry serial killers. You might like it.
Just for that alone, you owe Plush a purchase.
Yeah, too right. It saved me from an awkward situation.
100%.
Yeah.
Because he could, yeah. That's hilarious, man. The things people do when they go out these days. Okay. That's good. I mean, that's the interesting thing about these episodes, too, is that either it's something we've both read or have a lot to say about, or it's just absolutely, we're going in blind, just like hopefully some of the listeners and viewers are.
Don't you just love that? Love that going in blind. And
I went in blind with Unwritten. I bought Unwritten off of the strength of your review.
I haven't read it yet. Review.
Yeah, but just the way that you kind of broke it down, and then I reread the back, and I'm like, wait a second, this might be right up my alley. It's not superhero stuff. It's DC Black Label, but you're not gonna. It's gonna be. What if Harry Potter lived in the real world and the stories were based off of a kid that.
Yeah.
He's actually, there's more to it. It almost becomes like an Indiana Jones. It seems like an Indiana Jones.
All sorts in there.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'll give this a run. This is just a blind buy that I'm really excited to go down the rabbit hole for.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. This is a big name. So Brian Michael Bendis. It's the one.
Yeah.
It's Dark Horse. So I don't know if this is part of the Jinx World imprint in some way. It's obviously a creator owned. It's a pretty simple premise. Every single person in every mythology that was told they were the one are brought together for the first time to defeat the one, the actual one, the real actual one. So this amazing new vision is brought to life by Wonderkin artist and co-creator Jacob Edgar, who's worked on Batman: Army of Darkness. Okay, I won't read the rest of
Batman: Army of Darkness. There was a Batman Army of Darkness, or Batman and Army of Darkness.
That's it.
Oh, Batman, I want to get Batman Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it sounded good, right? They're gonna make that now.
Yeah,
it'll come out in September.
It will.
Right. Well, yeah, it sounds like fun, and then the thing with Bendis is that I feel he's one of the few writers that does well with a large cast. He's very good at the dialogue with a room.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And that's not an easy thing. You know, there's some writers who are really good with the one-on-one, and then some guys who specialize at writing a team book. And he, I think, was a specialist at it.
Yeah.
Also with this, yeah. And I think even the way he treated Daredevil and Ultimate Spider-Man, he surrounded them with a lot of people to feed off of, right? He was very good at a crowded room scene of conversation. So I'd give this a shot.
It's a really good shout. Is it called The Ones? Volume 1? It's Volume 1, right?
The Ones.
The Ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I did hover on that one, but now I'm thinking I should have done more than hover. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing to me, boy.
I gotta get you sometimes. So you've been getting me. I've been going to the so right back at you.
This is true. I'd give this a shot for sure.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I do love Bendis. Whenever I kind of take a break from anything he's doing, and I jump back into his creator-owned stuff, I go, God damn! I forgot how good this could be.
Your number 5?
Oh wow, we're there already. Okay, my number 5 is going to be one that I talk about frequently. I rarely recommend absolute editions because they're a commitment. They're big, they're expensive, and they're for true fans of a series. So only if you really love that series or whatever, you're going to buy the absolute. I have this one, and it's being re-released in August. It's the Preacher Absolute Edition. Absolute Preacher. It's a beauty. And look, I don't know if they're going to keep it this way, and I really hope they do. But basically, this fantastically blasphemous book has a theme.
Very blasphemous book.
It looks like a Bible.
Yeah. That's a cool absolute. They should have done something like that with the Omnis.
But I think they kind of save up the extra special touch for stuff like the absolute. There are 3 volumes, so expect to shell out, but I think they're worth it.
If you're of age, I'll say that first.
If you're 12 plus,
at least. Even then. But you got to have the stomach for it. But it's one of the best comics you'll ever read. It's not even my style of like comic book storytelling. And off of the strength of your recommendation and my buddy Shane, who this is his favorite comic book series. It's quite the achievement for sure. There's nothing like it.
And it's funny because if you read some of Garth Ennis's later stuff, obviously his Punisher, both Punisher Max and the Marvel Knights Punisher won a lot of praise. But there's also been a lot of stuff where people have just gone, oh no, it's like he's trying too hard to be shocking. This is shocking, and I think in many ways it's more shocking now than when it first came out.
100%. You wouldn't be able to make this today.
No, you wouldn't. But
unless it's creator owned. That's it.
I mean, even then, I don't know what publisher would take it at this point. It's only because it's made its name, I think. But one of the great things about it, though, it's I don't know, it always sounds cheesy to say this kind of thing, but it's like the level of heart and the level of character in it. That's what makes Preacher great. It's the funny bits are really funny. The dark bits are really dark. The stuff that happens is messed up. You get rewarded all the way through. You get rewarded at the end because it's so good. but it's so messed up. I think I mentioned this a while ago when we were talking about Preacher. Generally, it's the series I lend to people who don't read comics, and they always have the same responses. You can do this in a comic? Like, well, yeah. Yeah, you can. This can be done. But I lent it to one person without even thinking, because I was on such a roll with it, and she knew everyone had read it, because it was at work. And then I just went, yeah, there you go, you can borrow it. And she looked like she was shivering or something. And she gave it back and she went, yeah, it's not really for me. Like, wow, I think it broke you.
Yeah,
really bad. It's that whole phrase of "it's not for everyone." Nothing's for everyone, but this categorically will upset some people.
Yeah, yes, it will. And even if you find it offensive for whatever upbringing you may have had, the story of it, the questions it makes you ask, the dark humor, it's dark. It's rated R for sure, maybe more, but it's not. That's not what makes this book.
No.
As you read it, you realize, like, of course, these people would be like that. Of course, there are people like this, and that's the scary part about it. Is like, it actually makes you think of, like, oh, the scariest part of it is making you wonder, how often are there people in this world like this?
More than we wish to think. Right? It's nice to think they're as fictional as characters on a comic page.
Yeah. But this one, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know which other way to put it. It's brilliant.
It's a masterpiece.
Beginning to end, it's a masterpiece. 100%. Yeah. It's a Quentin Tarantino film with a little more.
Yeah. So, dude.
Okay. Oh, man.
It's your number 5. So does this mean you're going to pick an incoming for last August?
Okay. So my pick is Do a Powerbomb. No.
I'm writing that down. Do a Powerbomb.
All right. Superman for all seasons, absolute edition. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. I feel like it is a story that you didn't have told to you in the John Byrne era of Superman, where Superman makes an appearance and then time goes by where nobody sees him for a little bit. And these would easily fit into that sort of time of what Superman would have been doing through Metropolis. I know some people say he looks like a loaf of bread in this book.
I thought potato.
Or a potato.
Yeah.
As I read it... Oops.
Oh. That's not a page, is it?
No. I actually lent it to somebody, and they wrote a little essay of what they read.
Really?
So it's still in here, yeah. Of what they thought of the book. Yeah, it's got the Smallville charm that, people sometimes miss in telling the Superman story. It really captures him as Clark. It captures him as a son. It kind of shows you why Superman is Superman. Like, he's got just him and his dog. Like, I just love it. As I read this book, I can hear the John Williams theme from the Superman movie playing. Uh-huh. And, it just gives you that homely feeling of Clark. Builds a little bit more on the tension that him and Lex Luthor would have had early on in the beginning of their relationship. The colorist on it, I think, was very specifically chosen to capture the kind of... Because Tim Sale is, I think, colorblind.
Is he?
So, yeah.
Oh.
Or was.
He's
passed, Shout out to Tim Sale. We love Tim Sale. But that's also why I wanted to showcase this, because Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale are just one of those teams where it's a pretty safe bet. They did the Batman stuff. They did the Marvel colors, as they say.
Yeah.
And this was them doing their take on Superman in the early years. So I got a soft spot for it. And I think if anybody likes Tim Sale art and just a nice, homely, back-to-basic Superman story, which, I'm a sucker for, it's a safe bet. Yeah, and it'll look great. It'll look great in the absolute format. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up, because if you get that just for the artwork of it, it's just really pretty and there's a warmth to it.
Yeah,
makes you feel good as you look at those pictures.
I mean,
for me,
for comparison,
yeah.
What have you got that in? Like a deluxe?
No, I just got the paperback. I've wanted to upgrade to something because I do love the book. I've never been sure of what format I would want it the most.
Okay, just to compare an absolute with a trade paperback.
Right.
I mean,
huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, and you know the absolute I guess would be 4K. You got your Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
You got your you could get the Blu-ray that has all the extra features and comes with a digital copy and all that. If people still buy DVDs, I don't think anyone does, but this is like getting the DVD in 4K. You're gonna get everything plus like the grandiose, beautiful art that you're kind of meant to see it in. I think if comic book artists had their say, they would wish all of their books were this format so they could see, like, now you can really see the artwork I was trying to showcase. Right? So, yeah, I thought, why not pick an oldie but a goodie?
That's nice. That's nice, man.
Thank you. What do you got on your alternates?
So I've got a few alternates. I'm only going to pick a few. For Dark Horse, a couple of Hellboy books, if you're into the Hellboy books. Koshchei in Hell, which is the spin-off miniseries. Lobster Johnson Omnibus Volume 2, which wraps up Lobster Johnson as a set. I was going to show off my Volume 1, but I've lost it. I never lose my books. I don't know where that is. There are a few absolutes coming out from DC. Two that we didn't mention previously tonight are Sandman Overture and V for Vendetta.
Nice.
I can't believe neither of us mentioned the Batman Detective Omnibus by Peter Tomasi.
And this is the thing. I haven't read it.
No, I haven't read it.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, but it's a long shot. But it's because it's him I'm getting it.
Sorry to go on tangent, but I don't know why or where this would fit in with all the other stuff that they were doing at this point.
It goes through Joker War, so it's kind of pre-Joker War. It's kind of after Tom King.
Yep.
Or around the Tom King mark, and then through to the Joker War, I think. I don't know if that means anything.
The Joker War goes to the Tinian stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I would be able to answer more readily, but I've just recently moved all the books over. This is where I'm kind of dropping off on Batman at the minute, because where you feel like you have to pick up Detective and Batman, I don't always want to pick up both, because often now someone I'm not that bothered about is writing one of those two books. So I can't be bothered to read either. So I've kind of dropped both of them.
Okay.
Batman Wayne Family Adventures is also coming out, which is acclaimed webcomic, but it's coming out in print. I've given it a try. It's not really my sort of thing, but I know a lot of people are really, really into it. It's incredibly popular, and it's quite kid-friendly. So if you want to get your kids into Batman, it's just a very light-hearted look at the Bat family kind of hanging out at Wayne Manor. From Image, another compendium is Low from Rick Remender and...
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got it written down. I mean, I wasn't a fan of that series, but it is one hell of a pretty looking series. Art Brut from W. Maxwell Prince, the creative team behind Ice Cream Man, basically. But it's their first series they did together. That's Art Brut Volume 1, The Winking Woman. From Marvel, which we don't really talk about overly much, there's some stuff from there. Oh, Secret Warriors Omnibus. I'll go with that. I'm not going to mention any of the others. I can't be bothered.
Oh, Secret Warriors is good.
Secret Warriors. I mean,
I've heard it's good.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet.
It's really good. It's well worth picking up. I mean, there's a couple of really interesting epics coming out. Daredevil Epic Collection Into the Fire, which has got Man Without Fear in it. And the issues that lead up to Fall from Grace, which is an early 90s story, which kind of rejigged Daredevil for a while. Avengers War Across Time, which is a series with Alan Davis, and it's set just after Avengers number 11, I think. So it's a real tribute to the old school Marvel. But I didn't even register Immortal Hulk coming out because I never bothered finishing it.
Yeah, I said to myself, I'm going to wait for the Omni to come out. Was kind of like my perspective at the time. I don't know. I'm not in a rush anymore because there's other things I want to read. And I kind of, when everyone's just talking about something like, this, it's just all about this. It's just all about this. I'm kind of like, okay,
yeah,
wait until all that dies down and let time tell if it's what it is. I don't know. I haven't even read Saga yet. There's one of my picks. I haven't read Saga.
Yeah, I know. I need to kind of go back and read Saga again from the beginning. There's so much to read, man. There's so much to read. But I mean, Ewing's Immortal
exciting.
Hulk, it's one of those things, I think, where it was the FOMO situation. Everyone's talking about it, so no one wants to not be talking about it, and no one wants to say anything. But when I said, like, I thought it was okay, people got really shirty with me. And that's not, I wasn't even mean. Like, it was all right at best. I think the best Hulk has happened. Yeah, I just wasn't sold. It's not to the level of, they've never done the level of body horror that they do in it. But if you're not shocked by things, I'm not shocked by stuff. Shock doesn't work on me. Yeah, I love it. But it's the humor of it, you know? Whereas this is just like, oh, look, this really freaky thing is happening in Immortal Hulk. Like, okay.
Right.
Is there a story now, please? And plus there's a lot of Brian Banner in it. His dad. And I kind of feel like that book is closed and they need to just leave it. But they keep bringing it up. And it's like, just, come on. I don't want to see that anymore. It's been done. So, but I think, if you're fresh to it, you might well like it. Go for it. Pick it up. But it's just not for me.
Definitely worth mentioning. I had New Avengers Epic Collection that starts collecting the Avengers Disassembled, which we've been talking about recently in regards to Brian Michael Bendis and that creator episode. But it's kind of cool that they're coming back in a trade format that there's a commitment to completing. So we'll see where this goes and how much of it they collect. Black Hammer Omnibus 2 is coming out from Dark Horse, which is, if you got the first one, definitely you're going to want to get the second one. And I had the P. Tomasi Batman,
right,
which we talked about. August is looking pretty good.
Yeah, but not too overwhelming, but good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's looking affordable.
Yes, and there's any extra picks are also affordable as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. September, though, I hope they push some of that shit back because, like, there's a lot. They've basically gone, that was due out in May, but now it's September. That was due out in June, but now it's September. That was, like, everything has just gone into 1 month. Like, you can't do that. 20. I might have to sell my house. So I just wanted to do a couple little thank yous this week or at the end of the show. One is to Meat Trunks / Ralph Reeds, who has provided these. He does a load of stuff on Discord. He basically, like I said earlier, he basically keeps it going. There's a nice little group of people on there who chat all the time. But it was his idea to start in the first place. But he sent me through some mussels from Japan.
Oh, cool.
So I used to have these figures when I was a kid. I had like a couple of hundred of them.
That's so cool.
And I sold them, and basically they originate from Japan. So, where's my favourite one? This little guy, look at him, he's made of blocks. And they're all wrestlers, because we were talking about wrestling, and it all kind of came out through there. So
nice.
I decided to... Oh, he fell off. I decided to adorn the shelf with them this week.
I should get some more wrestling figures. I just got the one. Keep them over my shoulder every week, but... I should get some more.
Is that Big Daddy?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No.
That's the only one I know.
Big Daddy?
Yeah, he was...
Who's that?
English wrestler from the 80s.
Oh, I see.
In the UK.
Is that the only one you know?
Giant Haystacks and Kendo Nagasaki. They were English wrestlers from the UK.
Did you know Davey Boy Smith or the Dynamite Kid?
Did he go to Belmore?
I don't know. But he was known as the British Bulldog.
No.
He was probably the most famous from Britain.
Oh, I'm sure there's from here. I just assumed he wasn't.
No, he was from here. Yeah, Davey Boy. I think was he from Leeds? I don't know if he was from Leeds.
That's a real place. Yeah, I've got relatives there.
Yeah, I think that's where they were from. They were known as the British Bulldogs. They were extremely influential.
Oh.
To American wrestling, yeah, for sure.
Oh, how random.
Yes.
I did not know that. Lastly, I just wanted to give one extra shout out as well to Daniel Friedman, who we did a collector's item special recently, which went up last week. Had a couple of technical issues, but go with it. It's all fine now. It's all back up now. Standard for the Omniverse, it seems, in our formative months. We're still young. But he very kindly sent me a copy of Raiders, which he did with Crom. No, hang on, I'm getting this the right way around. Raiders with Crom.
Sweet.
And Undying Love, which he did with Tom Coker.
Nice.
Which is one of his even
That's
earlier
great.
books. So, yeah.
You're getting international mail. Look at you.
I know, it's nuts,
Hey.
isn't it? It's really nice. So, and he also sent a whole load of extra bits, including like little postcards and some stickers of Carly and a bookmark Carly and some bookmarks, like little promo pieces. It was lovely. It just kind of got this package through, and it's full of stuff, and it was just really
Great.
nice. So yeah, from our favorite writer of last year. Like, what the hell? So yeah, that's just such a nice surprise.
Everybody that was tuned in for the Twitch live, thank you so much. If you watch on YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, as well as doing that on the podcast platform that you listen to us. If you're just traveling, your way to work, from work, at the house, cleaning the house, whatever it is you do, thanks for hanging out with us. And subscribe, leave us a review. Don't forget, omniversecomics.guide. Dave, see you later, buddy.
See you later, dude.
Later, everybody.